All right, I think we've all wondered how many actual foreign-born players and how many players who are actually not from that country are playing in certain teams in the Six Nations. I mean, obviously me being in the Southern Hemisphere, being a box supporter, I hear it all the time. You always see it on every Facebook post. You always see it on every Instagram post. Oh, he's not even born from there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the laws are the laws and that's how it is. With me, it's more of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, right? You go, oh yeah, he's born over here, but whatever. But we'll go through the exact stats here today, and we'll break down who from which country was born where, and we actually have a tally at the end as well to show the exact numbers per country for the players. So let's get into it. And if you do enjoy this sort of content, if you are keen to follow the Six Nations, if you are keen and love rugby as well, as much as I do, then hit that subscribe button below. It means a lot. Like the videos that you do like as well. And if they have earned it, then hit that like button because it does help with the algorithm. And look, my rugby season's nearly starting again. I think, well, what will this be? This will probably be season 26, right? Since I was 5 years old, now 31 and playing 26 seasons, still playing club rugby over here. So when I do talk about things, I guess sometimes it is from also like experience and having played and all that type of stuff. But I know there's a ton of people that always talk so much crap about rugby players and they don't understand, what situations they're in because they've never played in such a situation. But we'll go through these things. Let's break down where these players are from each nation. I'm kind of thinking ahead right now. Who do you think has the most foreign-born players in your head right now? Take a guess, and we'll be able to go through and see if you actually guessed it correctly. Now, the least foreign-born players is England. You can see here, so homegrown shows here. So it's actually players that have played, through the system in England. They're 39 out of 41 in the squad, which is very high. It's very good. Well done to England. 39 out of 41. That's a 95.2%. The foreign-born players is only 3 players, which is only 7%, which is Bevan Rodd. He's obviously through parent, who is English, born in Dunoon in Scotland. So he's the first Scottish. You'll see there in the brackets here, right next to the names, that is the amount of players per country as we go forward, right? Now, Marcus Smith as well, obviously his parent, one of his parents is English. 39 caps for England as well. He was born in Manila in the Philippines. And then Tom Rurbach, who's also with the parents, how he qualifies. So as you can see in the middle row there, that is how they qualify as either a parent, residency, whatever it might be. He's played 3 caps and he's also born in Inverness in Scotland. So he's a second Scottish player. You can see the rest of the squad here on the left. So if you do want to go through the squad, if you don't know it already, just pause the video and have a look at the squad there. Now we move on to the second least. Who's it going to be? It's France. Okay, they got homegrown players, 39 out of 42. Very, very good. 92.8%. Foreign-born players, a little bit more, with 6 from the 42 at 14.2%. Now, the foreign-born players are Danny Priso, who qualified through residency in 2008. He's played 18 caps. He was born in Cameroon in Africa. You got Uini Antonio, which is also through residency. He's played 63 caps and he's still playing for France now. He's a great, great front rower. He was born in Timaru in New Zealand. So he's the first Kiwi on the board. Then you got Georgie Beria, who also through residency in 2002. He's played 1 cap and he was born in Georgia. You got Joshua Brennan, residency as well. Hasn't played a cap yet. And he was born in Dublin, Ireland, in the heartland, right? Then you got Emmanuel Miafu, who's just recently qualified in 2023. He's played 5 caps already. He's really solidified a spot in the team. He was born in Otahuhu in New Zealand, which is pretty much like South Auckland. And then you got Emilian Geleton, whose parent is the reason why he got in. He's played 6 caps. He was born in Croydon in England. So pretty good percentage here. I mean, I don't know if I even thought there were this many players in the squad actually, but I guess it's quite interesting to see. Now, the next one is Ireland. So they've got 30 out of the 36 players are homegrown. So 83%, which I think is still very high. That's a good percentage. Foreign-born players are 9 out of the 36. So a quarter of the team were born overseas. So that's, quite a substantial amount right now, right? So Rob Herring, he's born in South Africa, qualifies for his grandparents, 42 caps for Ireland. Finlay Bealham for his grandparent as well, 46 caps. And he was born in Canberra. So he's the first Aussie. And then Rob Herring is the first Safa to come in there as well. Then you got Cormac Izuchukwu, who is born in England, qualifies for his parent, 8 caps. You got Joe McCarthy, who's actually been playing really, really good rugby. He's through his parent, 16 caps, and he was born in New York in USA. Imagine if USA had him in the team. I mean, USA, if they kept, I guess, a hold of all their players around the world, they might have an okay team. Then you got Jamison Ratu Gibson Park, residency in 2020, 38 caps for them. He was born in the Great Barrier Island in New Zealand. So he's the third Kiwi, and he also did play for the New Zealand Maori and everyone like that. So he only moved over, a bit later in his career. Then you got Bundy Aki, residency as well in 2017, 60 caps. He was born in Auckland in New Zealand. And, fair play to Bundy and stuff like that, because they never really got a shot, I guess, for the All Blacks. So they chased a bit more money in Europe, and one thing led to another. So, you can't really hate on the players for doing it. And Bundy, he actually sings the national anthem. He's really taken it on. So I can respect a player that goes to a country, gets the residency, represents them, and he actually sings their national anthem. He cares that he's, playing and representing that team. It's not just another job. It's not just more money, but it's actually they care for that country. And that's what I can see with Bundy. And you kind of see it with Jamison as well. But unfortunately, James Lowe, I don't really see him singing a national anthem and things like that. So, maybe he will. Maybe he will in the Six Nations. Then you got Kieran Frawley, which I didn't know. He's played 8 caps. His parent is Irish, and he was actually born in Sydney in Australia. I did not know that at all. I mean, his name is as Irish as he can get, right? Then you got Mac Hansen, whose parent is Irish, 25 caps. He was born in Canberra. And then you got James Lowe, 36 caps, residency in 2020, born in Nelson, New Zealand. So, I mean, this is pretty much like the Anzac freaking team, right? Like a lot of Kiwis, a lot of Aussies in this team. Only one South African there. So you can see the homegrown players yet again, 83% and 25% foreign born, so 1 out of 4. I wonder who the next country will be. So that's halfway through. Number 4, we got Wales, who's sitting quite high here. So 26 out of the 34 are homegrown, which is, I think, still over 75%, which is quite good. Foreign-born players are 10 out of 34, so nearly 1 out of 3, right? So the names are Will Griff John, through his parent, he was born in England. You got Henry Thomas, through his parent as well. He actually did represent England as well in international level, but now it's been a few years, and now he can represent Wales, and he's born in England as well. You got Will Rowlands, through his parent as well, 36 caps, born in England. Freddie Thomas, his grandparent, born in England. You got Chunza, through residency, 15 caps, and he was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. You got Taulupe Faletau, man, he's played over 100 caps for Wales, which he's been an absolute rock, and he was born in Tonga. So first person from the islands. Then you got Ellis Bevan, parent as well, born in England. Nick Tompkins, grandparent, England as well. Blair Murray, parent, and he was born in New Zealand, however. And you got Ellis Mee, also through the parent, and England. So a lot of English, right? Which is, it makes sense because it's right there, and you're all part of Britain as well. So yeah, that's getting quite high, the numbers, right? But I mean, Faletau is probably, I don't know how many years he'd have left, but he had residency in 2001, so it is before he probably moved over there, for example. And we move on to number 5. It's Italy. So that leaves Scotland, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we all could have guessed it was Scotland. I didn't actually expect Italy to have this many. But as you can see here at the bottom, homegrown players, 21 out of 31, so 67%, which is quite low. So not coming through their system. Then you got the foreign-born players, 9 out of 31, so at 29%. So it's only 0.4% actually less than Wales, but it's much less homegrown players. So quite interesting that. So the foreign-born players are Dino Lam Kona, through his parent, he was born in England. You got Sebastian Negri, who's through his parent as well. 58 caps he's played for them. He was born in Zimbabwe. You got Ross Vicent, who was born in South Africa, and his grandparent. You got Martin Page Relo, through his grandparent, born in France. You got Stefan Varney, born in Wales. You got Juan Ignacio Brex, born in Argentina, and he's obviously captained as well, 41 caps for them. You got Montana Ioane, residency since 2020. He was born in Australia, 35 caps for them, the winger. You got Capuzzo. I did not think Capuzzo was not born in Italy, but I guess, you're bordering the country, so it's nothing too bad. You got 23 caps and he's born in France. You got Matt Gallagher, 2 caps, and he was born in England. So yet again, a lot of English and a couple of French there. And then you got Scotland. Wow. Homegrown players, 23 out of 38. I think this number will climb now, with the URC, with getting players over younger. Then you also got foreign-born players, which is 15 out of 38. 39%. It's getting close to half the squad being born overseas, which is insane. You got Pierre Skuman, born in South Africa, through residency, born in Nelspruit in South Africa. You got Ewan Ashman, parent. Oh no, I forgot to put their bloody caps on there, I think. So excuse that, no caps on these guys. Then you got Dylan Richardson, born in South Africa as well. You got Will Hurd, born in England. You got Marshall Sykes, born in England. Josh Bayliss, born in England as well. You got Jack Dempsey, another Australian. You got Ben White, who was born in England as well, and he's been playing really well. You got Fergus Burke, born in New Zealand. You got Tom Jordan, also from New Zealand through residency, only this last year. Then you got Rory Hutchinson from England as well. You got Tuipulotu, who has captained them as well, who would have been the captain in Six Nations if it wasn't for injury. Born in Australia. You got Aaron Reid, parent as well, in England. You got Kyle Rowe from England as well for residency. And you got Dwan van der Merwe finishing it off through residency in 2020. He is now the leading try scorer for Scotland forever in history in Test rugby. And he was born in George in South Africa. So a little bit less South Africans than I guess most of us would have thought. But as you can see in total, there's 17 from England in the teams. You got 8 from New Zealand, 6 from Australia, which is a bit higher than I was predicting, actually. You got 5 from South Africa, 2 from France, 2 from Scotland, 2 from Wales, and then all these other countries are on 1. So Ireland, Congo, Zimbabwe, Georgia, Canada, Tonga, USA, Philippines, and Cameroon. And yet again, I don't think it's a bad thing that this is happening. I think, it's giving players opportunities. And I think that's the main thing is, rugby has become so big and international that I think the more opportunities available, the better, because a lot of players are getting lost into systems like here in Australia, where the system is totally broken. The funding is not getting to the players that need to get it. And a lot of players you'd actually know over here, you would think they could be pro, but they just don't get the opportunity. So it's good that in rugby overseas, they can go to these places and possibly actually represent a country as well and play international rugby, play Six Nations, which I think is just good for the game, just in general. I think the more opportunity, the better. And at the end of the day, if you say that they're born over there, they're born in a different country, they shouldn't play for them, then, the game is not really going to get better. And there's a reason why it's more competitive at the moment. There's a reason why Ireland, was world number 1. They've brought in a couple key players. Scotland is playing, better than they have in a very, very long time. And yet again, look at the numbers. Italy had one of their best Six Nations, if not their best Six Nations, just last year, with drawing and winning games and stuff like that. Yet again. So the proof's in the pudding. Do we take the mickey out of it? I think we do. We do take the piss out of it a little bit. It's tongue in cheek. You know, no one's really angry at someone. But, you know, yeah. I just think that the players that do play for these countries, that get the opportunity to represent that nation, represent that jersey, represent that emblem, and represent the fans, I think they need to be all in. You know, don't just go, oh, I'm representing the country, I'm not going to sing the national anthem, blah, 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 blah. It's like, sing the national anthem. Every player should be singing it. Just in my honest opinion, I think, you know, you're either all in or you're not in at all. Just in my honest opinion. But I'll end it on that. I mean, there's the numbers for you. Think of it what you will. Break it down below. Let me know in the comments who you predicted was actually going to be number one. I'm pretty sure most of us would have thought Scotland, right? I mean, they have been absolutely torn to shreds with the amount of players they've brought in, but you know, they're getting results, so that's what matters at the end of the day. But I'll end it on that. Like the video if you did like it, subscribe as well if you want to see future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.